Welcome to Who's Hiring Now, a video series hosted by GSEP Career Services. I'm Frania Demerjian, and my colleague Kate Scott will be hosting today's session. The Who's Hiring Now video series is designed to provide our GSEP graduates with current employment opportunities that they can consider as they embark on their job search. And today we are thrilled to have Manusha Shareddy and Amaya Dar from Ujala Life. Let's jump right in.
Yes, so can you please introduce yourself, what roles you are hiring for, and describe the organization?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us here. We really appreciate it. And, we've had some Pepperdine alums and they've been amazing addition to the team. So very excited to be here. And, just introducing Amia and me, we both are the co-founders of Ujala Life. We are an ABA organization based in New Jersey, set out to transform the ABA industry with certain ways that we perform and we operate. And we are a center-based model, and we're comprehensive ABA therapy for children typically under 6 and under. And, we particularly are focused on naturalistic play-based therapy. And so we have senior staff members who are trained and have PhDs in employing such therapies. And that's what we focus on particularly because we're strong believers in that form of therapy, And, if you see our centers, we've been very intentional in setting up the centers that way so that they have, sensory play space to, different activities that they can move around to and adapt to their natural environment. So that's very, intentional in how we set it up. And we have we have 2 clinics and amazing staff members that are really focused on development and growth of our BTs and RBTs. And really focused on really mentoring a lot of our BTs that want to progress to become BCBAs as well. So, there are several roles that we have that we are hiring for. The first one is BCBA. So we are hiring for BCBAs that are interested in coming in to work at lower caseloads than typical. We cap our caseloads at, 8 to 10 max because we believe that that's where you can really provide really good clinical care and focus on your growth and your opportunities that you want to focus on. And so one is the BCBAs. And then the second is we have what's called the Fellows Program. So this is where you immerse yourself with our BCBAs to get your supervision hours and, as a hands-on with Ujala. So those are the 2 roles that we are hiring for. And, of course, we are hiring for RBTs and BTs as well, who are, some of them have expressed, who had no idea what the field was, have expressed interest in going to become BCBA. So we are hiring for that as well. So, but mostly the latter would be relevant to, viewers here today.
Thank you. And Mia, what professional development opportunities do you provide for new and existing employees?
Absolutely. So thanks. Manusha gave an overview of the different roles we have, right from the BT, the fellowship program, as well as the BCBA. We're a little unique in how we conduct training at Ujala Life. Typically, in a lot of agencies, there is a sense of isolation in the field where a lot of clinicians feel that they are all alone in the field, going from home to home. And typically, especially at the BT or the trainee level, being with one learner for a full day can add to burnout, and it can reduce learning opportunities. While we do believe it's important to build that rapport with each learner as a place of growth, as a place of learning and development, we believe it's important to have a diversity of experience across different, different types of learners who may be at different developmental levels. And so what we've devised is actually a shift scheduling program where your typical day-to-day will, number one, be in a clinic, which really helps for that, sense of support, learning with colleagues. And then you move from learner to learner. Sometimes we we start off at 1 or 2 learners, and then as the competence increases, we increase that to 3 and sometimes 4 learners a day. And that really, one of our fellows currently works across 4 to 5 different learners, and she's been able to learn so much more, seeing that diversity of developmental levels as well as behavior interventions. So that's one thing that kind of separates us apart, is that ability to have a diversity of experience. Additional abilities for professional development include, we actually have our own training program with short videos that are paired with hands-on experience in the clinic. So a lot of the training that is typically provided is long form videos where you have to study by yourself and then you're just thrown into the deep end. Ours is more step by step. Okay, learn a small concept in 5 minutes and apply it on the job as you go along. And so we've gotten really good feedback from that. With the fellows program, in addition to supervision while working across learners, we also have the opportunity for working directly with a BCBA on report writing, looking up the literature for new approaches when there's certain problems that arise clinically, as well as training other behavioral technicians, and making sure that they are aware of how they should be conducting themselves, how they should be doing the programming. And so getting that exposure to lead, not just clinical depth and diversity, which I touched upon, but also clinical leadership is something we really, really place a lot of emphasis on. And again, as Manusha said, in our kind of naturalistic play-based setting within a clinic, it's a much better environment to gain those opportunities than is what is typical.
That's
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess, how is work structured to provide flexibility and work-life balance?
Absolutely. I'm happy to take that one. It's a very important piece of what we set out to do because, it's a key part of the reason why we have much lower caseloads, almost half of what traditional organizations have, because that is such an important piece of our ethos as a company. And so for us, we're a full day program, 9 to 5. And for us, a key piece of that is, beyond the caseloads, is taking away a lot of administrative burden that a lot of BCBAs face, and as well as RBTs and such as well. So that includes we've actually integrated technology in any piece of typical administrative tasks that a lot of BCBAs are burdened to do. And we also have dedicated teams, from scheduling to administrative to, contacting parents, and all of that is not part of a BCBA's job description. And that shouldn't be. They should be purely clinical focused, and that's where we want to keep it. So we've reduced BCBA clinical administrative burden from 30% to almost 10% that of their time that is spent on administrative tasks, from even working on scheduling to, like I mentioned, to aiding assessments, for example, is another one where we have the fellows program where fellows have opportunity to immerse themselves in aiding in assessments or other tasks of helping with treatment planning and such as well. So that gives BCBAs a lot more time to focus on supervision, treatment planning, and parent training as well. That is key part of their job clinically. So that's where a lot of the work-life balance comes in, because we've had BCBAs say that it's a breath of fresh air that I don't have to do so much administrative tasks. And one of your Pepperdine alumni is the one who said that. So I think that definitely speaks to our focus on that, especially for BCBAs.
Thank you. And now, what is something unique about Ujala that you would want prospective applicants or candidates to know about?
Yeah, I think one thing is just the personal story. behind how we came to starting the agency. So, Manusha and I had a different background before we came into ABA. I had a career in technology as a machine learning engineer, and Manusha had worked with larger organizations at a corporate level. And we both had a big passion for ABA. I personally have some family members on the spectrum, and we went and just did a big deep dive in the space and spent a lot of hours volunteering as BTs ourselves, audited university courses to learn what are the latest, what is the literature saying about the difference between various approaches. And we really thought long and hard about the question of burnout, clinician burnout in the space, and how to make ABA a fun and fulfilling job that people can see as a sustainable career and not just a stepping stone along the way. And so we've put a lot of thought and passion into how to design that type of organization. And I think our employees, one being the Pepperdine alumni Manusha was talking about, have really validated that there is a different breath of fresh air, to take their words, coming from some of the more corporate-backed agencies to, this is really just an owner-owned, almost like it feels like a family-run boutique agency where there is a lot of passion coming right from the top to the bottom. And that commitment to excellence, and the commitment to really having an impact and not just, churning out hours is something that we really take a lot of personal pride in.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, we know our alumni really like you guys, but what is it about Pepperdine graduates that make them desirable to hire?
I think that is one. I mean, we have had such a great experience with working with Pepperdine alumni, and they've been very clinically adept and very clinically focused in really providing the best possible care there. On top of that, from the Pepperdine alumni that we worked with, they're not just focused on the clinical side, but also developing the BTs, our BTs, for them to progress in their careers and not just see this as, just a day job every day. They really want them to grow, and there's that level of mentorship that we see, and that's a key part of our ethos as a company is, mentorship and growth in careers and giving opportunities to progress, not just for BTs and RBTs, but also BCBAs. And there is that passion to grow in the field and passion to do something different. And so that's what we saw a lot in the Pepperdine graduates and want to continue to hire from.
And one thing I'll add to that is I think the Pepperdine program seems to foster a fantastic sense of teamwork. And we really see that makes them stand out.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Manusha and Amia, for your time today. We greatly appreciate it. This concludes today's episode of Who's Hiring Now? And thank you all for watching. And remember, GSEP Career Services is here to support you with your career journey. Thank you.